Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today I'm going to make some beef soup, and I'm making it out of the bones and what was left over from the prime rib roast that we fixed a couple of days ago. All I did was just put my bones in the refrigerator in the same little pan they were cooked in. Now, from this prime rib, we actually got 2 meals. It really made 3, probably 3/4 inch thick pieces of prime rib. So the second one we just cut it in half because it was really thicker than the rest. But I deliberately left some meat on the bones. So let me turn this down so you can see. Alright, so I'm also making some homemade bread because, I mean, really, if you have soup, you might as well have homemade bread with it, right? And it's a good cloudy, chilly day out there, so perfect weather for soup. Alright, so what I'm going to do is simply put these bones down in some water. You can see there's a lot of lean. See, we cooked it sort of medium rare. Can y'all see that? Does that red show up? I'm not sure. But anyway, there's right much lean on these bones. So I'm going to put those down in the water, and any of the juice that was left all goes right in the water, and I'm going to simmer this hopefully for only about an hour. But anyway, however long it takes for the meat to come off the bones. And then I'm going to separate the lean meat from any fat, and also I'm going to get the fat off the top of the broth that it will make. Alright, so to this, just to flavor it, I'm putting in 1 carrot. I just peeled and cut in sections. This is 2 really small stalks of celery. And again, this is just to flavor the broth. And just a little bit of red onion. And then this is parsley. It's Italian parsley that I actually froze last July. Now, it does lose a little bit of its taste in the freezer, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to put that in. And I'm not even putting any salt or anything like that at this point. So I'm just going to simmer this for an hour, maybe more, just until all that meat comes off the bone. And of course the vegetables will be completely cooked at that point. And then I'm going to drain it and have my broth for my soup. And I'll also put the lean meat that comes off the bone in the soup also. And we'll put a couple of other things in it. Alright, so once this gets done, we'll be back. Okay, our bones from the prime rib have cooked. Really, I let them cook about an hour and a half, but the meat is falling off the bone now. So I'm going to drain this liquid, let me just show you here, into just one of my bowls, because I want to be able to pick off all that meat. Alright, so we're going to get everything out of that pot. All that parsley, and sorry about the steam. Getting every bit of it out. Because I want the soup to be somewhat clear. There's a spatula. Excuse me. Alright, there we go. Clean my pot out of any parsley or onion or anything. Alright, that ought to do it. And we're going to put the broth right back in the pot. Spilled a little bit of that. Alright, so we got little bits of parsley in there, but for the most part the broth is clear, and there's actually not that much fat on it, so I'm not going to really have to take any of that off. You definitely want to leave some in there for the taste. Alright, so I'm going to dump my bones out. And I'm going to start separating the meat. Now everything's really hot. I'm going to set those little carrots aside, and I'll slice those and put those in the soup since they look so nice. Might even put some of the onion. No, I don't think I'll put any of the onion or the celery. Okay, so there's one of the bones, and here are the others. So what I usually do, I don't know if you can see that. Is my lens still fogged up? I don't know, maybe a little bit. All right. So what I like to do is get all the celery and the onions and the carrots and the parsley over here out of the way. And there's some more. So we've got all the flavor of those vegetables in the broth. And so what I like to do is just do some pulling apart here so it will cool a lot faster and I can take all of that lean meat. See how it comes right off the bone? It smells wonderful. This was a really good prime rib roast. So see, it just comes right off the bone. And there's lots of lean still in there. All right, smells great. All right, so now what I'm going to do with this roast, with the soup, is I'm going to cook some potatoes and some of those frozen green lima beans, and I'll probably put some of the carrot slices in it, but this is mostly going to be, beef and potato soup. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those in. It'll take those beans about 20 minutes to cook, and the potatoes would also be done at that time. So I'm going to turn my burner up to sort of medium-high, and I will be adding a little extra water to this. But the main thing I want to do is get this meat, all the lean meat, off the bone and into the soup. Alright, so when I get that done, we'll be back. Okay, we are back, and I've picked all that lean meat off of the prime rib bones from when we had that the other night. And that's what I had left, the bones and sinew or whatever that is. Now, of course, to me, the best tasting of the prime rib is that lean part that's right in between the ribs, just kind of like pork ribs, it's just good and very tender. So the beans and the potatoes have been cooking for about 15 minutes. I've got my bread in the oven. It's almost done, so I'm going to go ahead and add this meat to the soup. And this soup is going to make probably 4 servings for us. And I definitely have to add salt, because once you put the potatoes in, any additional salt that you put in there is going to kind of get sucked up by those potatoes. But anyway, so we're going to let this simmer on for maybe another 10 minutes, and then we'll be serving it up. So we'll be back. Alright, the soup is all done. Here's what it looks like. It's a clear soup, and most of the meat kind of sunk to the bottom. There's our bread, and I make that flatter bread. That way you can dip it right in your soup. And of course we've got our iced tea. Here's mine. You can see a little more of the meat there. Anyway, on the bread, I cut it on this end, and I cut it on this end. And the reason I do that is because we both like the end piece. So he gets an end piece, which is all crunchy, and I get an end piece. Alright, so this soup was made with the bones from a prime rib roast, but you can make it with the bones from any roast. Like a chuck roast makes really, really good soup also. Okay, we will see y'all next time.